I got a little bit of time this morning, so I thought I'd detect for a little bit. I'm out here at this local park. It's your typical park, public park, full of bottle caps, you know, pull tabs, all kinds of junk. There's a pencil laying over there. There's junk everywhere. But I got the Teknetics G2. I got the little sharpshooter coil on it, so I'm going to see what kind of separation I can get and just see what I can find out here amongst all the trash. I went through this just this little bitty area right here, and I don't know if you can see them. I can't hardly see them in the viewfinder, but I marked off a bunch of signals with flags. Now there's quite a few signals right in this little area, but them were just the things that could possibly be coins. I didn't mark any of the pull tabs or anything that hit other than what could possibly be a coin. I do got one of them marked that I believe is a bottle cap, just to show you how I distinguish them. But and like I said, it's a trashy park. They could be canned flaw or whatever, but anything that had a potential to be like a zinc or above. I didn't find any nickel signals that I marked, so we'll dig all these out and see what we come up with. Here's the first one. It's in the zinc range. Doesn't appear to be too deep. This may be a surface find here. Here comes the cop, so. Maybe not a surface find. We'll have to dig it out a little bit. Sound like it was on the surface. It's the old English 800. See, this is not a steel bottle cap. It is I guess it's an aluminum one. That's why it hit like a zinc. Here's another one right in that same zone. One thing about this G2, it has a real accurate ID. Could be another one of those aluminum caps. I can't hit it on the surface, so. Yep, there it is. This time it's a Colt 45. Here's one a little lower down the scale, probably about where those same lids come in. This here's a little lower than a zinc penny. So I can hit it right there. So just a couple inch plug will work. No name brand on that one. 3 for 3 on the caps. Now this here, I'm almost positive is one of the steel bottle caps. Watch this. It looks like a good hit, don't it? I mean, it looks, if you're just going over it, it looks okay. Pretty steady numbers too. What you do on these is you start lifting the coil as you swing, and notice that the numbers will drop off. Watch this. Here's how you can tell. Now I'm gonna start lifting. See that? I mean, it's almost a dead giveaway. Sounds real good, but if you lift your coil. So let's dig this one. I'm almost positive this will be a bottle cap. I would have never dug this, but I did it just on video to hopefully it'll help somebody. There it is right there. See, and it was in the ground. It wasn't on the surface. There's the old ice, and that's exactly what it was just one of them steel bottle caps. But that's how you can tell. Lift your coil, swing back and forth. If the numbers drop, it's usually a bottle cap. Here's one, looks like it's probably in the aluminum cap range again. Now, watch as I lift my coil on this one. Notice how the numbers stayed the same or even went a little higher. Probably aluminum cap. I know I say aluminum cap, but it could be can slaw too, a piece of a can, but out here there seems to be a ton of those caps. So I'm just guessing on that. Seems to be about the right numbers, and I've dug other ones. Boy, that's a nasty one. That's look at that glass and that aluminum ring. I wonder if it was hitting on that, or maybe the cap's down there too. I'll see, but yep. That may have been it. I'll go back over the hole. Going back over that plug now. That was it. That little thin aluminum. It hit that pretty hard for, you know, there wasn't much of it. Got one here, 76. Still a little too low for zinc penny. And if I lift my coil, the numbers do drop off a little bit, but if it's a cap, it's going to fool me. A steel cap. Now, I don't think this is the bottle cap. The ID dropped off a little bit, but not much. Like I said, but it can fool me from time to time. Sometimes the real rusty ones don't drop off a whole lot. I'm getting a whole assortment of them. Old English, Colt 45, Budweiser. It was another cap, another aluminum cap. Got one here that seems a little deeper. You know, none of them have been deep, but just maybe a little deeper. This could be more in the zinc range, or seems like just a little high for zinc. I'll dig a little bit of a plug here, see what we got. There it is. The old Pepsi this time. It was a little deeper. It was maybe 5 inches down there. So just the Pepsi. Got the same type of signal here. Probably another one of those caps. Kind of hitting higher than a zinc and lower than a copper penny. I think this was just a hair deeper too. The little coil pinpoint's good. I mean, trying to get her on a rock here. This is actually pretty deep here. What do we got this time? White no name brand. You know, I could avoid digging a lot of these if I wanted to. I would just stick with the coin numbers, but you never know. I mean, silver rings come in that zone too, so finally got one that wants to hit somewhat in the coin range. If I lift it, it drops off just a number or two, so I'm not thinking a steel bottle cap. This ought to be close to the surface. It seems like it's fairly shallow, but see it as something on its side. Is that a gold coin? A hammered? No, it's a hammered cap. Okay, going for round 2 this time. I marked off 10 targets. I got 1 there and I got 9 more out there. This time I took the Etrac with the little 5-inch NEL Sharp, and I only marked targets I thought were going to be coins. And you know, I tried to keep it real accurate. So we're going to take the G2 with the sharpshooter on it and see if we can compare them. The cool thing about it is those little flags, I just made them out of duct tape. I just took some little round rods you can get at Walmart and took some duct tape and just made it like that and put numbers on them. The other thing about it too is when using them to compare, you can point the flag the way you were standing, so that gives you an idea, like if you know, so you know you're trying to approach the target from the same direction. It ain't perfect, but it at least works. So like I said, every one of these targets I marked, I was probably 90% sure they'd be a coin. So let's go through here with the G2 and see what it calls them. This first one, the Etrac, hit right on a nickel. I would have thought for sure it was a nickel on the Etrac. Pretty close on this. I would think that shallow though would hit it a solid 58. So if I was guessing on this, I'd say probably not a nickel. Let's see what we got. I mean, I still would have dug this with the G2 anyway. It was close enough. Oh, there it is. It was a nickel. So I'll have to take note of that. It was a, because I didn't have the G2 very long at all. 57, 58 primarily, so it was a nickel. The Etrac hit this as a zinc penny. It's locked right in on 78. I believe it's probably right. We're 1 for 1 in the coin department. See if we can go 10 for 10. Whatever it is, it's in my hand. I know it's a zinc penny. I can see that yellow crust already. So it was, in fact, a zinc. Let me get up. It was a zinc penny, so we're 2 for 2. This was a zinc penny on the Etrac. Locked in at a solid 78. Should be shallow. Should be reachable with the, there it is. There it was, I believe, right there. I probably turned it sideways when I did that. Yep. Okay, we're 3 for 3. It's a zinc penny. Etrac called this a zinc penny. Just don't like that 79 in there though. $78, $79. This one's just a hair deeper. I think I'll cut a little plug. I don't think it's, yeah, I don't think it's right on the surface. It's maybe 2 or 3 inches down there. are you? Thought I had it in my hand. No, I guess not. Okay, another zinc penny. Does that make us 4 for 4 on the coins? Etrac called this one a nickel, pretty solid nickel. To me it's hitting just a little too high to be a nickel on the G2. So one of them's wrong. We'll find out. Etrac called it a nickel. I'm thinking it's hitting a little too high to be a nickel on this detector anyway. So if I was in a trashy park, I probably wouldn't have dug this. Beaver tail. I guess in that instance the G2 was right. Got one the Etrac called a zinc penny. Looks like it probably will be. I mean, it's locked right on. A lot of times I like to cut a little slit. Makes the ground easier to separate. Look at there. Still got some shine on it. Dropped it. So that was a zinc penny. They're both right. This one here, I don't know what the Etrac hit on. There's two targets real close to each other, but I had a little 5-inch coil too, so it probably separated these out. Hear both of them in there. Sounds like got maybe a zinc and a low conductor. I'll go for what I think is the zinc first. I'm just going to dig a rounder plug and try to get them both in one swoop. So I think there's two targets here, a low conductor and a zinc penny. Oh geez. Never mind. That fell out of that was stuck to my digger. I thought it was on the surface. Let's see if we can get them both. There's one deeper in the hole, it looks like. Really, where are you? Okay, just a little tiny rusty piece of wire, but that wasn't what it was hitting on. Something else in the hole. Might just be more of that wire. I may have dug too deep for those targets. Wow. That was pretty incredible. I just got that out. I said I may have dug too deep. I just got that out with the last scoop. So, and that was probably 6-7 inches down there, the zinc. And I know there's a low conductor somewhere right near it. I'm going to cover the hole and go back over it. That was pretty impressive. There was a little thin piece of wire down there, then there was that zinc penny down below it. But right here, right there is where I just dug that penny, and I'm going back over the hole, just over to the left a little bit. See, took out all kinds of stuff right in that same area. That was pretty good. This showed as the nickel of the Etrac, but there is what I think is a steel bottle cap right near it, so watch it. I believe that's the bottle cap. And that's what was coming up as a nickel, I believe. We'll dig this out. I don't think this is going to be a nickel. And some kind of big drink lid, so it wasn't a nickel. We'll go back. I knew it was going to be, but we'll go back over the hole anyway, just in case. Etrac called this a zinc penny. It's hitting pretty solid. Barely getting hit there, so it's only a couple inches down. Got a real small plug. Fell in the hole with the worm. It is a zinc penny. This here was kind of iffy, even on the Etrac, but I was able to, work my way around it and eventually get a dime signal out of it. That's kind of copper penny range there. Come right over the center of it. This one's jumping around quite a bit. Etrac, like I said, it was a little jumpy on it too, but circling it in one direction I could get a solid dime signal. Dime copper penny. Almost like I'm doing here. From this angle here I'm getting a pretty solid hit on it. I believe this was a little bit deeper, so dig a little bit deeper plug into the rocks, it sounds like. Uh-oh. They were both wrong. I mean, I think the G2 had a little bit more jumpy ID, so maybe that was a giveaway that it was trash. They both jumped around though, so